Merely defining this session as legitimization with the Israeli-Arab conflict is in itself an expression to the inherent difficulty in contending with the attempt to harm the legitimacy of the State of Israel, because the effort to harm and hamper the legitimacy of the State of Israel reflects the lack of preparedness to recognize the right of existence of the State of Israel as the nation-state of the Jewish people. And this is the very heart of the Israeli-Arab conflict. And I'd like to say that this is not what happened in '67. This is not apartheid. This is the very heart of the matter. When one tries to analyze the issue, one can see that it involves several layers. The initial and basic layer negates the legitimacy of the establishment of a non-Arab and especially non-Islamic state in Eretz Israel. This idea is the very basis for the policy and activity of delegitimization of those extreme factors in the Arab and Islamic world, such as Iran, Hamas, etc., Hezbollah and Al-Qaeda, because there is no border conflict between Iran and Israel, and yet its leaders call upon the eradication of Israel from the map. More so, some pragmatic elements in the Palestinian system continue to be committed to the narrative which negates the right of Israel to existence in any form. The Palestinian education system and the basic documents, the foundation documents of the Fatah movement, the so-called tolerant movement, embrace this view. The second layer negates the legitimacy of the existence of the State of Israel as the nation-state of the Jewish people. This approach does put up with the fact of the existence of the State of Israel in view of the lack of ability to remove it or destroy it militarily or politically. But those who embrace this view, headed by the Fatah and the pragmatic camp in the Arab world, focus on the negation of the right of Israel to exist as the nation-state of the Jewish people. They recognize its right to exist, but not as the nation-state of the Jewish people. Even Abu Mazen, who recognizes Israel, but it is a fact that when he speaks in Arabic, he says it should be negated. The third layer has to do with the delegitimization of the Israeli presence in Judea and Samaria and the defense activities of Israel vis-à-vis Gaza. All the factors handling this delegitimization are active in that specific layer, even though for many this is not a goal unto itself, but rather a means to promote the two initial layers. It is quite clear that focusing on this kind of delegitimization, which deals with a divisive issue in Israel and between Israel and its friends, makes it easier for the delegitimizators and enables them to mask their real intentions. And they find it easy to present Israel as a devil and as the sole responsible for the non-achievement of peace, while comparing it to the darkest and the most horrible regimes, and presenting Israel's presence in Judea and Samaria, which are part of our homeland, Eretz Israel, as a kind of colonialism. These elements become unintentionally, perhaps, multipliers of the power and intensity of the blatant legitimizators. The events of the last few weeks and the Palestinian reactions to the leaking of the negotiations documents in Al Jazeera stress even more the need that the peace treaty should be based on the recognition of the right of Israel to exist as a nation-state of the Jewish people, and that the Palestinian people should adhere to this thought while they're being now educated according to completely different perceptions, and that this should be accompanied by appropriate security agreements. I would like to take this opportunity to stress once again the Israeli government's position. We do not want to rule over the Palestinians. We are prepared to act in order to strengthen their capability to rule over themselves, but without them threatening us. And we are prepared to enter direct negotiations without any preconditions at any time. In conclusion, one cannot ignore the fact that the phenomenon of delegitimization of the State of Israel nurtures anti-Semitic factors and is also nurtured by them. Simplistically, I would would say that some people contend that if the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is the source of instability in the Middle East and is the cause for the fact that Western soldiers are killed here, as a result, the Muslims hate the Westerners, and then again, everything is because of the Jews' fault. In order to contend with such threat on our national security, we must first and foremost unite around a common denominator of the commitment to a right as a state to have a self-definition as a state and the right to safety in the land of our fathers, the nation state, free and democratic nation state of the Jewish people, which provides civic rights, equal civic rights to all its citizens. We must also crystallize an overall strategy to contend with the phenomenon in all its aspects, which will ensure more initiative, more creativity, coordination of all the various efforts of governmental, non-governmental elements, Israelis and abroad, with all the elements involved in acting and learning continuously the various developments in order to prevent rather than cure, in order to prioritize efforts and to launch various effective initiatives in this field. Among others, we have to assist in developing awareness, authority, sources, alternative ones, so that they can take part in the effort to modify and correct and amend the various basic premises which are shaping the public opinion in the West vis-à-vis Israel. We have contended with very severe, very dangerous security threats in the past, and I'm convinced that if we join hands in this new battle, we can ensure in the same system of lobbying, chatting, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And of course, I call upon each and every one of us to take part in that battle to the best of his or her ability. And